One thing that I do want to do though is build. I'm going to build a program. It's going to be on some like beyond the broadcast type shit. It's going to be based on like it's going to be based on like production. You know what I'm saying? Straight up like um on some shit to where it's on some brainstorming shit. You know what I'm saying? Like boardroom, like rehearsal shit, like writing room. I forget what you want to call it. Like yeah, the green room, whatever the fuck that shit is called. But it's basically gonna be. I just sit here and I brainstorm, and then I really want to branch it off, if possible, branch it off into another kind of content to where I come up with ideas, or and it's gonna branch off into another one where I break down like my future prospect production projects that I'm thinking of, you know? Yeah, something like that. But of course, you know, we worry about the ops, but I mean, we'll just make a different channel, and I mean, by tomorrow, I'll just do it on my different channel. But for tonight, we're just gonna do it on this joint right here. So, but yeah, that's a better question. It's like when I do these, sometimes I kind of don't know where to start, or I know where to start, but I'm too hyper. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about me. That's why I got to do so many shows and practice, is because I actually get a I do get performer's anxiety, which it's just a, you know, it's a natural part of doing both scripted and spontaneous content. You know, but I say it's scripted in the sense of like I'm planning to go live. You know, I'm planning and practicing putting other certain things in practice. So it's like it's planned.
Right.
So then when it don't come out the way I wanted to, I get frustrated, you know, but it's practice. Even though it's its own platform and program. So I'm smart enough to create programs and platforms where I'm able to plan around, based around me planning, producing, and planning, producing, and practicing my future programs. And I think like it can branch off and be also like an extension of something I do production wise, where I, you know, it's like a behind the scenes, other behind the scenes, other behind the scenes, other, you know what I'm saying? It's all like a Chinese Easter egg type effect. But yeah, I'm on rock.
Um, I got a little bit of time.
I don't have access for that on this account.
um,
I currently have no
I could
platform.
eat a rock right
I
now.
have no platform for getting my rocks off yet.
Only rocks.
That's
Rock hard.
yeah, that's live show.
No.
We think about doing some
Let's test it out right now and see how,
live shows.
you know, it's gonna go. Let's see. Come
I'm
on.
trying to think, what should I do tonight? Should I play GTA? So this will be an element of it, is I sit down, I plan things, I come up with different things. Obviously, it's a more presentable structure. It's a more put together, produced structure of me actually sitting down writing shit. I'm actually trying to come up with the aesthetics of it all, the aesthetic nature, and then the production, the audio aspect. So like mic placement, mic type, structure, format, everything's going to be pre-produced. So I'm trying to plan like how many episodes will I tape in this format of just, and when I say tape, I mean just do live and have it archived, so then I can practice what I'm going to produce pushing forward. So we're just going to do it. But the whole thing is we're going to do it this way until I get good enough, or I get enough, until the idea spawn of how I'm going to do it the other way. So yeah, and you capture it, and it's always working. Instead of just sitting down and staging things, it's kind of like a cycle format of doing things. And so one thing I do have to do is I have to get back to producing the interviews, courtside shit, the post game interviews and shit like that. So I gotta eventually get back to that, which I will do sooner than later. But I'm just waiting for the right time, because the first couple that I have to do, the first I want to say the first 5 or 6 are going to be without highlights. So I have to actually type up a prompt and see, yeah, like this, how I'm explaining this. This is a good for explanation, good production process of why I'm doing certain stuff a certain way. And so I have to type up a prompt and all this other shit that I don't feel like doing. But I mean, I feel like doing it, but it's about being in the right headspace. I have other stuff to do that's much easier at the time. So I'm just trying to be proficient with my time. So that's what I'm doing. But
What else?
yeah, just about being proficient with my time. That's really what creating these platforms and programs. So I'm creating little things that I can get out of my head, getting it out of my head, putting it on program, practicing saying it, and then watching it and processing how everything went. And yeah.
You fucking love it.
Yo, shut up. I'm being serious.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to think. But yeah, so mic placement, things like that. These are all gonna be consistent factors. And then too, it's also about what equipment. Oh shit, what equipment I need. I almost broke the fourth wall. Well, like what equipment I need, because I have this thing too where, like, once I say something, the thought behind what I'm saying and thinking, it goes away. So I have this thing like where in my mind I picture something, and then once I say it, it goes away. And a lot of times I freeze and I pause because I'm like I'm a visual thinker in that regard. I think in different ways, but as far as like planning things, I like to visualize. So it's like I might visualize it in my head, and it's like I'm trying to sit still and capture it, but then it like goes away as soon as I start speaking on it, because then my brain is already going into how it's going to get that way. And so that's something I've been dealing with, ever since my berries days, my opioid days. So that's just a byproduct of that. So it's like building past that allegedly opioid. I think so. I might be crazy. Who knows? I don't know. Was that me? Who knows? But yeah, I'm trying to focus on that thought of what I was thinking. Yeah, but I'm thinking about purchasing certain equipment to go beyond around that, the right shit that I'll need to make all this shit go right. But I can't remember the thought I had, but it'll come back to me. But it's all about, the main thing is putting all of this shit into place, so then you know what you need, what you don't need. You know how shit, the workflow, you know, to know what you're going to buy, you're going to need to know what you need. And to know what you need to know how things are going to go, what you're planning. So, since I wonder where you been, shorty love me, lick me, stand. Shorty lick me and she know. She love a brew and she love me so. If you wanna lick me then
Dumbs.
tell me bye-bye. Come here, baby. You all and I. So that's the main thing I'm probably gonna need. And I'll just need to do this in a casual format, speaking to, and just branch off. That was the formal introduction. And it's like I'm even trying to structure it now as I go, just live or whatever. But one of the, what the fuck? One of the real things is that I'm going to need to build my studio out to, how do I want to say, support this structure that I'm trying to build. So even just the aesthetics. So let's just go there because I'm all over the place. But aesthetics wise, right? I'm trying to have it to, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to my viewers, by the way. I'm trying to have it to where I understand what it's going to look like on the playback, because I'm using a monitor that's in front of me that's different, that's calibrated different from, you know, the true look. So sometimes things may look good to me on this monitor, but then when I watch it back, I realize that the actual camera monitor, what the fuck you want to call it, like, yeah, video monitor for the camera is more accurate. So I have to get past what's on this and set it more for that. And so one thing that I do, and why not do it live, and that's the point of having this shit set up this way. And so let me give y'all some game. If you want to do stuff live like that and you want to be moving and spontaneous, you gotta have your boom and all your stuff adjusted appropriately, because you're going to be moving around and you're not going to be sitting in this talking head spot. So if I'm sitting in a talking head spot, you know, I might want the mic here, or really I'll have it lower, you know what I'm saying? I'll have it lower like this, closer to me, so that I could be more quiet and I could be more on point and focus more on my speech. And because you want it to be more structured on the playback effect. So that's just something I'm trying out. BTW, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I noticed. So that's my style. That's what works for me. Like when I'm watching shit back, I like seeing shit that's orderly, it's straight to the point, it's whatever. But what I was saying is, another way to ensure that things are going the right way is you do shit and then you watch it live. And so I'm gonna use this for actual reference. Now sound is a whole different thing. I could monitor my sound and do all that live, but I'm just gonna have to, I was gonna say that's gonna take a long time, which it would, but I would just have to have it set up. I'll have to have all the shit hooked up for it to be right here. So just with me saying that, brainstorm wise, and that's what this program is about, that's something I'm gonna implement and thinking about doing. And that's what this is all about, is me putting it out there and seeing it in action, and how you want to call that, presently putting together my workflow. So as I'm looking, what I see on here is exactly what I see on here once I turn the brightness up. So I need to just only rely on this. So even though it looks nice on this, I like what I see on this. What it is that it looks nice to me on here, but what y'all are seeing on there. So here's the thing. What I'm talking about is exposure, the amount of light coming in. So it's kind of bright and it's kind of catering towards the light, but I want to bring it down, right? Because that's how lighting works. Is the camera and the lens is less powerful than us in the dark in the low light. So I mean, of course, ideally you want to use false colors, but that takes more time. So I'm just gonna keep doing it until I feel like my skin tone is neutral and natural. You know, that's the best way to really do it. And like I say, boom placement and all that has to do with, you know, performance, sound projection. That's going to affect your product and shit like that. So, like on my screen right now, on this cheap little Dell monitor, it's just a regular computer monitor. It looks dark. You know what I'm saying? But on there, I still see it has an artificial look. Like you can still see the light reflecting off my skin. So we just gonna keep lowering that bitch until I feel like it got the look. So now it's too low. You know? And like I said, the right way is probably to do the false colors. You know what I'm saying? But two things that I noticed that I need to start doing here on the Lance show. That's not what it's called. That's what I'm gonna call it for right now. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but is calibrate my focus correctly and make sure that my boom placement is right, because that's what mainly affects the viewing experience. Shit, I gotta piss. That's the main thing too. Like, I be always pissy, tired. I only like to stream when I'm sitting down. You know what I mean? So that's why I need my setup to be the right way, so that I could come in here and rock out. You know. And so technically, I should be able to go down to ISO and lower the amount of noise, but I mean technically that shouldn't even be necessary. So that's the thing. Do we want the bright look, or do we want the supporting light look? It just depends, you know. We gonna fuck around and find out right now. Even though these be the most boring parts of doing shit, but it's like we building a program. So I guess ideally, my idea that just came to me is I could just edit them separately, you know, put them in the separate programs. I'm trying to repurpose shit for IG, all type of shit I'm trying to do. But I need to get, the whole point of this is I need to get this talking head sitting at the desk, look down. There we go. See, I'm right here now, so I'm gonna be sharp. And so, one thing that I'm thinking about instituting is always an exception and adding room for us to calibrate my focus position correctly. You know, acknowledging that this needs to be done. So then, boom, take that off. Now I'm calibrated in the correct sharpness, what in my mind of what, you know. So right here I feel like I'm too far from the screen, but we can just fix that. That's one thing we're gonna annotate. Like, we're gonna have to add that to the process, to the creative process of, like, that's gonna be something we gotta stop and always do. So because we want me to be sharp and we want the audio to be crisp. Why? Because we want to eliminate the perception and distortion of any intermediary variables and mediums between me and the viewer, because we want it to be as if we want the motherfucking viewer, you yourself, to just get me and my information that I'm saying. Those are the most important elements. So we want to accommodate that. So I still feel like this should be a little brighter, even though I'm just looking at what is just naturally too bright for me, the look I'm looking for. Like I said, a lot of times when I'm sitting down and doing these, I get in presenter mode because I do watch a lot of content creation. I just stick to the script of just speaking clearly and just doing things a certain way. Just subliminally, like I said, I watched a lot of YouTube over the years of quote unquote content creators and shit like that. So we want to cover that element of it and be as clear and concise and speak that way as possible, because diction is a big thing on me. But at the end of the day, we want to brand it to where it has a casual, authentic approach to it, I guess. I don't know. We want it to feel casual, like, you know, like you're getting to see the real me. But pussy, you only ever see the real me when I'm comfortable. I gotta piss. So while I piss, I'm gonna watch this, and then I'll come back and piss in your mouth. gonna, you feel me? We're gonna start this bitch over, man. Let's run it back from the tizzy.